Hello and welcome back to Game 8 of the 2024 JRDA Championships here in Chicago, Illinois. We are live. I am Chaos Coordinator bringing you the announcements play-by-play for this game between Tampa Bay and Nashville. This is for the Female League. Both teams have been gear checked. And on the screen we have the Tampa Bay Junior Roller Derby roster, as well as the Nashville Junior Roller Derby League. These two teams are going to be going head-to-head to see who's going to be taking third and fourth place for the championships for 2024. We have about a minute and 8 seconds till we begin the first jam here in Chicago. We do have a lot of parents and fans in the house. Both of these teams are ready to take the track. As you can see, the referees are warming up and getting ready. This is a new crew. This is the second game of the day, but we have a new referee and NSO crew getting ready for today. And without them, we wouldn't be able to have these young athletes participate in roller derby. It takes approximately 22 officials to make a single bout happen. That's between the referees, which are our zebras, and the NSOs. Those are the non-skating officials that are on the track and off the track, keeping track of penalties, including the medics, keeping our skaters safe. And so we need to make sure that we always show our appreciation to all of our refs, NSOs, and volunteers. And we have the swoop. The next whistle, we are jam on. And immediately we have Tampa Bay taking lead with Miranda Slambert. Felony for Nashville is working to get through the pack, and immediately as Tampa Bay comes back through for the second pass, receives a penalty and goes to the penalty box, losing lead jammer status. As well as a Tampa blocker had a little bit of a spill there on the track. As Felony is working her way, she gets recycled back into the pack. And these walls need to work together to keep her back, because right now we are on a power jam. A power jam is when we have a jammer in the box. That way the blockers will be able to concentrate on assisting their jammer so they get the power. And the Tampa Bay jammer is back on the track. That would be Miranda Slambert. And the pack is moving. Slambert comes in, does a whip around the outside of number 63, her teammate, to pick up another 4 points. Currently, we have 2 white blockers and 1 black blocker in the box. And Nashville's getting cycled back, but takes an easy step through on the inside to pick up an additional 4 points for Nashville. That is a 16-point jam for both teams. So far, it looks like it's pretty even. We'll see in the next couple of jams. We do have pack advantage for Tampa. Well, no, we don't, I guess. But we do have a blocker standing for Tampa. As we are switching out blockers for Nashville, we have an official timeout. All right, that's our swoop that we were looking for to get this Jam 2 going. Both jammers come off the line. We have Mean Bean for Tampa Bay and Roadrunner for Nashville. Roadrunner takes lead jammer status, but right behind her is Mean Bean making her way around the track. We have a little bit of a spillage here as the jam is called off. And we have a full track. All the blockers standing up on the pivot line as they're pushing back towards the jammers. As the whistle is called, going into Jam 3. We have both walls doing an excellent job of holding back these jammers. As Nashville cuts on the inside, makes it through Lunatic. Lunatic makes it through to get lead jammer status. But gets held up into the pack as the Tampa Jammers are cycling up to, but Lunatic makes it through, gets an additional 4 points for Nashville. Tampa is going into Jam 4 with a pack advantage as the pivot for Nashville is in the box. Jammers are on the line waiting for the next whistle. And we have Miranda Slambert for Tampa Bay and Roadrunner for Nashville. Both jammers pushing to get through, and Tampa takes lead with Miranda Slambert as she comes around the track, already back coming into the pack to pick up she got pushed out and she's getting cycled back by Nashville. As Nashville gets a jammer penalty sent to the box. And we are on a power jam. Roadrunner got a penalty for Nashville and was sent to the box. Miranda Lambert is making good use of this power jam, picking up additional points as the jam is being called off. The Tampa team is playing some strategy here because by calling the jam off with the jammer, white jammer still in the box, they get a power start, which is an advantage for the Tampa jammer. As the jam whistle starts, we have Mean Bean for Tampa trying to work her way through the pack, and coming out of the box is Roadrunner, who immediately goes to the inside and takes lead jammer status for Nashville. And in that, we have 2 blockers, one for Tampa, one for Nashville, both going to the box. And now the pivot for Tampa is joining in on the box. So we have a lot of penalties coming up as Nashville calls it off. Nashville's going to have a 1 blocker advantage on this next jam. Nashville has 1 blocker, Tampa has 2 blockers in the box. We are having an official timeout. So far, both of these teams are putting up some very strong walls and talented jammers. So it's pretty even gameplay at the current moment. And then we have the Tampa fan club cheering on Tampa in-house. And we also have the Nashville fan club. There is the swoop that we needed to get this jam started. We're going into jam 6. We still have 22 minutes in this first half. The jam is on. We have a Tiny Takia for Tampa. And Felony for Nashville. Felony has taken lead jammer status, went all the way around the track and picked up 4 points. Back into the track, sneaking through on that inside, passing the Tampa jammer and calling it off. So that was an 8-point jam for Nashville before Tampa realized what was going on. Looks like they lost track of the Nashville jammer. We have a team timeout for Tampa, discussing strategy as so that they're pretty equal play. As Nashville is on the track having a team meeting, Tampa is over at the bench. Looks like the coach is giving a pep talk to our Nashville team as well as the Tampa team. Sometimes you just have to take a timeout, get everybody to calm down. All these skaters have put a lot of time and energy and skills into their craft, and they're leaving it all out on the track today. This is the championships. And we have our swoop whistle letting us know that we're getting ready for the next jam. We're going into jam 7. All of our blockers are on the pivot line and the jammers on the jam line, waiting for that whistle. As it gets started, all the blockers move back to the jam line as Tampa Bay attempted to take lead, but as they did, they received a penalty, and Nashville got out as the lead jammer. So we are on a power jam for Nashville. And the Nashville blockers are working offense to help get their jammer through. Mighty Duck is the Nashville jammer. And Miranda Slambert for Tampa Bay is back on the track, still needing the initial pass. And these blockers are not prepared for these jammers as they're coming through. They need to stay together a little more with the Tampa Bay. And the Nashville jammers are doing a great job of making a hole for Mighty Duck. Currently, the box is loaded for Tampa Bay. They have 2 blockers and their jammer in the box. So this is going to be another power start for Nashville. And the pack advantage is going to go to Nashville as well. So Felony for Nashville is on the jam line as the white wall is helping her get through, but Tampa is coming up to the front of the pack, waiting for the jammer to get loose so they can block. Felony has gone to the outside, barely skating past the Tampa Bay blockers. We have Miranda Slambert, who's taken off the panty, trying to get through the pack for Tampa. Looks like she's attempting to do a star pass. And she has. It is a star pass to the pivot of Tampa Bay. And that jam was called. So that was a 4-point jam for Nashville. Nashville 59, Tampa 20. This is a 39-point game. We do have an empty penalty box on this jam. So we do have a full court. As we're playing today, we do have seniors on both of these teams that are going to be aging out. Skaters with JRDA can skate until they're 18 years of age as of September 1st, and after that they would age out into adult derby. And Nashville takes the jammer status with Lunatic. And we have Tiny Takia as jammer for Tampa, working her way. She's getting recycled back by the white blockers. As Lunatic tiptoes, does a spin on the inside on her toe stops to get through that pack, picking up 4 points for Nashville. And these Tampa skaters are staying together as a solid wall right now. And the jam was called. That was a 4-point jam, 7-point jam for Nashville. The strategy they're taking is to get through the pack as quickly as you can and call off the jam before Tampa can get any points. And it's working for them. They're chopping and adding points to the scoreboard. Every point counts. So we have Mean Bean for Tampa and Roadrunner for Nashville. We have seen this mashup before against each other, and the Walls are working hard to keep both of these jammers back. And Tampa cycles through, but Roadrunner tiptoes through the inside to circle around the Tampa blockers. We are on a power jam as well because the Tampa Mean Bean jammer is in the penalty box. We have a little bit of a stumble into the third corner. Everyone is back up on their feet as Mean Bean comes out of the penalty box and scurries around the track to meet into this white wall who is circling Mean Bean to keep her back from getting through. And number 615 as Nashville calls off the jam, but not before picking up 8 points. Right now we have a 54-point game going to Nashville. Both of these teams are showing their endurance and pushing through, leaving all the energy they have on the track. And we have Felony. And Miranda Slambert as the jammers on the line, but Felony takes lead jammer status. As Miranda Slambert is in the penalty box, we again are on a power jam for Nashville. And Felony has gone into this pack, calls off the jam. We're going to get a power start for Nashville. Now, Miranda Slambert, the jammer for Tampa, is standing in the box, which means that she will be let loose in approximately less than 10 seconds after this jam starts, but every second counts when you're on the line. So Mighty Duck comes off the jam line into the pack, met by the Tampa wall, but scurries to the inside to get lead jammer status as Miranda Lambert for Tampa is cycled back. But Miranda makes it through the pack. As Nashville calls off the jam before Tampa can put any points on the board. As we have both jammers on the track working their way through, we have Tampa cut track. These Tampa jammers are having a hard time. We are in a power jam for Nashville. We have Tampa has their jammer and a blocker in the penalty box. As Lunatic is working her way through the pack, gets pushed out of bounds. But the blocker that pushed her out went out of bounds as well, so she didn't get any advantage over that particular blocker. The Tampa jammer, Mean Bean, is back on the track, made it through their initial. So we have the Nashville jammer making it out of the pack, and they need to call this jam off before Tampa gets through the pack, but did not. I guess that explains why, is because there's no lead jammer status. My apologies there. We're going to go the full 2 minutes on this one, so we got about 8 seconds left in this particular game. But we do have a lot of blockers going to the penalty box. And we have a little bit of excitement on the jam line. Apparently these two skaters have faced off before and they're ready to do it again. We do have pack advantage again for Nashville, as there is a black blocker in the box. Both of these jammers have quickly got swallowed up by the walls, but Nashville's Roadrunner was able to get through first But Tampa is not giving up. They immediately come through on the outside to get through. Nashville's picked up 4 points. And they call off the jam before Tampa can get through. We're setting up for jam number 15. The jam is on. We have Felony for Nashville and Mean Bean for Tampa as the jammers. Tampa takes lead jammer status. We haven't seen that in a little bit. But Felony is not giving in. She is going in ahead and takes these blockers head on as Mean Bean takes the outside. Even though Felony got to the pack first, Mean Bean made it out of the pack first. So we do have 2 pink or black blockers in the box, and they're gonna call this jam off. That was a 4-point jam for both teams. So we have pack advantage for Nashville. Both jammers get quickly off the line, but they are met with these powerful walls. Mighty Duck for Nashville made it out of the pack first. A little bit of a fobble for Tampa Bay's jammer, Miranda Slambert, as she has to circle back around. Miranda Slambert has taken off her panty cover, but is putting it back on as Mighty Duck goes back through the pack. Thought she might have called that off, but she did not. She gave the opportunity for Miranda Slambert to get through and pick up. That was the initial pass. So there was 8 points for Nashville on that particular jam. We are going into jam 17. The box did have 1 white blocker, but immediately as they were standing, so they were able to come back onto the track. We had a little bit of a crash there on turn 1 as Tampa Bay's Goblin has lead jammer. Tampa is on a power jam as Roadrunner was sent to the penalty box. So we're on a power jam. Tampa needs to use their blockers to help their jammer get through, since they do not have a jammer to worry about. But in that, we have 1 blocker from each team going to the penalty box, and we have the white jammer standing in the box. So this is actually technically going to be a power start for Tampa Bay, as the skaters are lining up. Jam is on. This is jam 18. It is a power start, but within seconds we have Roadrunner coming out for Nashville. And we have 899 with Tampa. Excuse me. Not exactly sure which player that was. My apologies. We do have another power jam. Looks like we're switching out. At the beginning, we had several power jams for Nashville. Now we're having power jams back to back for Tampa. So this is going to go a full 2 minutes. We have a minute left in this jam because lead was lost when Roadrunner was sent to the penalty box. You lose the advantage of being able to call off a jam when you are sent to the penalty box after you've received lead jam status. That was a little hop over that first turn for Mean Bean, and another little hop, and that one was from Roadrunner. But both of these jammers are going to have to go another 30 seconds in this jam. Tampa's wall is doing a great job of doing a circular tripod, rotating through to block this jammer no matter which direction she goes. But we do have the offense being played by Nashville to come in and help their jammer to get through. But Tampa makes it through first, picking up an additional 4 points, and that would be the end of that jam. The end of Jam 18. We're doing the lineup for Jam 19. It looks like Nashville will have the pack advantage because there are 2 Tampa blockers in the box currently. But we do have both jammers on the jam line. And there is the whistle to start Jam 19. As the Tampa Tiny Lunatic makes it through the pack first to get lead jammer, kind of does a little spill, but immediately gets back up because Lunatic, the jammer for Nashville, is immediately behind her, but calls off the jam. That's a 2-point jam for Tampa. Barely called it off in time before Nashville had the opportunity to pick up any additional points. Again, we are going to have the power is going to go to Nashville on this one with the track advantage because there are 2 boxers for Tampa in the box. Mighty Duck has made an easy pass on the inside, followed by Miranda Slambert. Both jammers are out of the pack. Mighty Duck has lead, but tries to do an apex jump, kind of misses and goes on the inside, out of bounds, but is able to turn and see that the Tampa jammer was right on her tail and was able to call it off before they were able to get any points. Again, we have track advantage for Nashville as there is a Tampa pivot. Pivot is a blocker for Tampa. Both jammers on the jam line. And this jam is on. And Felony is scurrying to her feet to get lead jam as pushed back. And the door is open for Tiny Takia to take lead. And this is in a power jam situation. Tiny Takia does a slight apex jump on this second turn, but her skate landed on the outside of the track. So she had to circle back, but was able to get back through the pack to pick up 4 points during that power jam. As Felony is back on the track, immediately following Tampa Bay's footsteps. Both jammers are fighting these walls as Tiny Takia receives a whip to get through. And Felony is not getting slowed down as she comes through the pack. And that was a full 2-minute jam. All right, we have Twisted Lace, first time seeing that jammer today, and Lunatic for Nashville. Lunatic has made it through the pack first to get lead jammer, as Twisted Lace is still working to get past these white blockers, but makes it through on her initial. And the jam is called off before Tampa can pick up any points. 4 points for Nashville. It looks like that this may be this is intermission. Good morning and welcome back to the second period of Game 8 here in Chicago, Illinois for the 2024 championships. We are currently in the female division. Skating for third and fourth place is Tampa Bay Junior Derby versus Nashville. We're coming into Nashville in the lead for 127 to Tampa's 76. As you can see on your screen right now, the skaters are getting rechecked for gear check for safety with the officials before we get this second half underway. We have less than a minute to game time. And as we take a look here at the first half, we can see where Nashville has consistently been using the strategy of getting in, getting lead, and calling it off right before Tampa gets the opportunity to score and put any points on the board. Now, Tampa has done an excellent job on several of the jams to get in higher numbers, such as 16 and 20 points per jam, but it's more about being consistently, because every point counts. Currently, we are waiting on our officials to give us the swoop to get everything started. And there is the swoop we've been waiting for. Next whistle is going to start this jam. We are starting with a pack advantage for Nashville. Tampa has a number 42 in the box as a blocker. For the jammers, we have Miranda, Slambert, and Roadrunner. That being said, Miranda Slambert takes lead jam, but immediately followed by Roadrunner, as Miranda Slambert is swooping to the outside, low and tight, to get those 4 points, as Roadrunner is getting swallowed up by this Tampa Bay wall. Miranda, trying to make an outside pass, gets knocked out of bounds and recycled to the back of the pack. We have number 92 for Tampa Bay going to the box, as we have 143 for Nashville coming out of the box. Both jammers are working hard to pick up points for their team. Currently, it is 12 for Tampa and 8 for Nashville for this particular jam. We do have a blocker standing in the box for Tampa, getting ready to come back onto the track. As Roadrunner passes up Tampa to be able to get 4 more points on the board. And the jam went for the full 2 minutes. That was a 16-point jam for Tampa. The last time through, she kind of got swallowed up by the wall and prevented from going through. And that was a 15-point jam for Nashville. Both teams are lining up on the track. The referees are getting repositioned. This is, we have a blocker for both teams in the box, so they're each down a blocker. Within seconds, we have Mean Bean for Tampa Bay getting through the back to get lead jammer status. But Felony for Nashville is right on her tail. Mean Bean takes a apex jump on that second turn, gets through as Felony gets knocked out of bounds. But on the second attempt, Felony makes it through the pack as Mean Bean calls off the jam before Felony can put any points on the board for Nashville. This is some very fast gameplay that the female league is playing. I would say they're not playing any games, but they're actually playing a game. Leaving it all on the track. That's what they're here to do. They have been training all year for this. The jam is on. We have Tiny Takia for Tampa and Mighty Duck for Nashville as the jammers. And I know you hear a lot about the jammers. They wouldn't be able to do their job without the assistance of the blockers. A lot of times it moves so fast you can't tell which blocker is who. It's one black blur or one white blur. But Tiny Takia makes it through, and she is on a power jam because Mighty Duck from Nashville got sent to the penalty box. And Nashville blockers were working together to set Tiny Nakia back, but Tiny Nakia makes it through the pack, picking up 4 additional points on this power jam. And as we say that, we have Mighty Duck coming out of the box, going straight into the pack, pushing through Tampa, doing a little spin, but she got knocked out, so she is recycled back. And the pack was undefined, so the referee stated where the pack was, and they had to let Tiny Takia through. We had a little spill with Tiny Takia, and we are going to be calling this jam off the start of a new jam. Yep, it's the start of a new jam. We're into jam 4. As the jammer for Tampa Bay, Miranda Lambert, quickly makes short work of getting lead jammer as Lunatic is working her way through the pack, and it was called off immediately by Tampa as Tampa got cycled back. That was a very good game strategy, not giving Nashville the opportunity to put any points on the board. We do have both pivots in the penalty box. Both jammers on the line, waiting for the whistle. And now we have that whistle was a team timeout for Tampa. Looks like we're having another, let's see, our team timeout went to Tampa, so Tampa's having a little bit of a discussion. Looks like the coach is going to come over and speak with her team. As these two teams and their coaches are going back. Well, we do have the 2 pivots in the penalty box. We have the jammers on the line. So the walls are equal for both of these teams. The jam is now started, and Mean Bean tries to skate on the outside one-footed, but ends up going out of bounds. And it looked like Roadrunner was going for one to get lead jammer, but as she came through, she got a cut track penalty sent to the box, so we are now on a power jam. And Mean Bean, as she was cycling back, was able to get through because of the penalty through Roadrunner. So Mean Bean has lead jammer status, works going like from side to side on the laterals. Mean Bean is put another 4 points on the board. We do have, the power jam is over as Roadrunner is trying to make it through the pack. That was a penalty put on number 99 there. You saw there was hit as a high block for Rolling Thunder. And the jam was called. That was 7 points for Tampa. They are slowly picking at this scoreboard up against Nashville. As we were talking about earlier, slow and steady and being consistent and adding every point, making it count. We do have a pack advantage for Tampa as, for Nashville, as Tampa has a blocker in the box. Both jammers come out quickly off the line as Tampa's Miranda Slambert takes lead jammer, and immediately following is Felony. Felony made it out of the pack. It looks like Miranda Slambert's going to make it into the pack and try to pick up additional points for Tampa, but Felony squeaks by on the outside and gains an additional 4 points before Miranda has the opportunity to call that jam off. So that was a 4-point jam for both teams. Tampa still has a blocker in the box. So again, we're starting this with a pack advantage for Nashville. The 2 jammers we have seen before. And the jam is on, and we have Tiny Takia for Tampa and Mighty Duck for Nashville. They have went up against each other in the first half, but Mighty Duck makes it out of the pack first. Tiny Takia makes it through and gets cycled back into the pack and kind of slips as they're trying to get back onto the track. Tiny Takia has removed her head cover, trying to get through the pack. On her first initial, you have to have the panty on when you are to be able to get points. But if it's your initial, you're not able to get points anyway. So the strategy is to take that panty cover off, and they will think that they won't, the possibility of a star pass, or even that to trick the eye that you are not the jammer. But after that, after the initial pass, if you want to be able to get points on the board, that panty cover must be on the jammer's head. We are going into Jam 8 after. We are in a power jam because the Tampa skater jammer went to the penalty box, has to serve 30 seconds. And quickly, Lunatic for Nashville came out and took lead jammer status and already taking advantage of this power jam to get through as quickly as possible to rack up as many points as she can before the other jammer gets out. And Lunatic is out, Tiny Takia is out of the box for Tampa. And that was an attempt by Tampa to prevent Lunatic from getting through, but it ended up in a penalty. We have 2 blockers in the Tampa box, and it was called off. So we are definitely going to start this next jam with a track advantage for Nashville. Both jammers are on the line. Okay, these teams are lining up. We have 19 minutes left in this period. That was the game whistle. And Roadrunner comes out quickly on the inside to take the lead. And passes again, tiptoes on the outside to pick up another 4 points. As Tampa, it looks like they are working on we are in a power jam for Nashville as the Tampa jammer was sent to the penalty box. And strategically, Nashville calls off the jam so they can get a power start going into jam 10. Power start being that the jammer is on the line because there's only one jammer on the track. They're able to get offense assistance from their wall. And the jam is on, and we have Felony working hard to get through to take advantage of this power jam or power start. And it was for naught because Felony thought she received lead jammer status, but she actually received a penalty on that. So she has been sent to the penalty box, and now Miranda Slambert has the power jam to her advantage to rack up any points. She's made it through the pack. So far she has 8 points for Tampa. But the power jam is over because Felony is right back on the track. Does a small swoop past the jammers or blockers before they even knew she was there. And she's done it again, but we do have number 666 for Tampa that makes an attempt to slow her down. But Felony is coming through. Does a slight hop and picks up an additional 4 points. The jammer for Tampa, Miranda, has gotten swallowed up by this Nashville wall that she's attempting to do a star pass with no such luck. The white wall is doing an excellent job to keep the jammer separated from her pivot, but it looks like Miranda Slambert is getting sent to the penalty box on that last attempt for the star pass. So we are again on a power jam, and that was a 2-minute. Nashville was able to pick up 20 points on that jam to Tampa's 10, but both teams were going back and forth with their jammers going to the box, creating power jams for these blockers. And we have an official timeout. Coaches are using these official timeouts for strategy for their team. Gives them the opportunity, if they need to discuss anything with the refs about any calls or any plays that were made on the track. That is what they are there for. And there is the swoop. They are going to continue. And the next jam is going to be jam 11. And jam is on. We have track advantage for Nashville. And we are on a power start as the Tampa jammer is in the box. While they were in the box, Mighty Duck took the advantage and got lead jammer status and is already circled back around, adding 4 more points. Nope, excuse me, let me take that back because it looks like we're having a power switch because that was a penalty for a cut track on Mighty Duck. So not only did she lose lead jammer status, she has given a power jam to Tampa. Miranda Lambert is not taking full advantage of this power jam. She has removed her panty from, and we have a star pass to Mean Bean, who is taking up, and at the same time we have Mighty Duck has left the penalty box back on the track. Neither team has made any points for their team. And that switches just as quickly as I say that. Tampa Bay gets through and gets 4 points. Mean Bean is in the front. This is going to go for the full 2 minutes, so we got about 20 seconds left. We have Mean Bean in the front of the pack, in the front of Mighty Duck. Have a little bit of a spill there, and a hip and a hop, and Mean Bean and Mighty Duck have both made it through the pack, picking up 4 points for each team. But they didn't have the opportunity to get back over to the pack to add any more. So we have 12 points on that jam for Tampa and 8 for Nashville. But you can tell that both of these teams are working hard and leaving everything on the track. Their jammers are kind of losing a little bit of their steam, but they're not giving in. They're reserving, going to use their reserve, hopefully, and dig deep. We have Twisted Lace for Tampa Bay and Lunatic for Nashville. On the jam line, there is a Nashville blocker in the box, so we do have a Tampa advantage. And now it's equaled out again because a Tampa blocker just went to the box, number 10. And we're just trading blockers in and out of this penalty box. And as a strategy, these walls are moving as Nashville's wall was able to knock out Tampa Bay and cycle her back, giving an opportunity for Lunatic to get around the track. But Lunatic ends up going to the penalty box as a cut track. So this is a power jam again for Tampa. And there on the apex, we did have, this was called off. We have a 3-point jam. That was a lot of action going on for 3 points for Tampa. And the score being 149 to 213 Nashville. We are going to have a power start, even though it's going to be a short power start because our jammer for Nashville is standing. We also have a pack advantage to Tampa. And we have an official timeout. And the swoop to let us know that this game is back on. Next whistle's going to start the jam, going into jam 13. As Miranda Slambert is fighting through these walls, trying to get past to get lead jammer. And Lunatic is getting held up in the Tampa wall. These walls are not messing around. They are working well together. They just knocked Miranda Slammer out and cycling her back. We got 3 jammer blockers on the Nashville jammer, who is Lunatic, but she was able to sneak by. But Goblin was able to get lead jammer status for Tampa by getting out of the pack first. But Lunatic is not giving in, skating in on the inside past these Tampa blockers. And Goblin, again, getting through the pack easily. It looks like Lunatic's going to take the inside hop, but misses and is going to get cycled back. Goblin does have lead jammer status, but she's trying to make up some ground here. Every point counts. And Goblin has made it through the pack again as Lunatic is coming in and does the knife's footwork swoop to the outside of the pack as Goblin is. Both of these walls need to watch this outside line. Both jammers are getting through very easily on that outside wall. That was a 20-point jam for Tampa and 12 points for Nashville. Tampa is trying to fill this gap. And it looks like we had a player foul out on the Tampa team. Fouling out means that you had 7 penalties. Once you reach 7 penalties, you are no longer allowed to play, and you are removed from the game, and you have to de-skate. We are in an official review, and it happens. And apparently this was just time that the officials needed to review and discuss the foul out of the Tampa player. Being up here in the broadcasting booth, I'm not sure exactly which player that was, but immediately Mean Bean comes out for Tampa and takes lead jammer status as Roadrunner is being recycled into the back of the pack. And that was a little bit of a tumble on the outside as Mean Bean was knocked out of bounds. She's doing a good job of recycling back, but that Nashville wall is slowing her down, but she still is able to get through. Roadrunner is chasing down Mean Bean. I'm wondering if we're going to see some nope, and the jammer calls it off. Tampa was able to pick up 4 points on that jam. All right, and we are getting ready for the lineup. And jam is on. We have Mean Bean and Felony for the jammers. As Felony makes it through as lead jammer. For Nashville, as Mean Bean kind of sneaks in there and does a apex jump on the inside, followed by Felony, who does the exact same thing. We do have a pretty full penalty box. We got 2 blockers in for each team in the penalty box. Makes it a little bit easier for these jammers. They only have 2 blockers to deal with versus 4. But Nashville was able to get their blockers back on the track before Nashville was able to get through. And number 50 is getting sent back to the penalty box for Nashville. Pretty even on the advantage for the teams. Both teams have a blocker in the box to start, but Tampa has their pivot blocker standing, ready to come back in. The jam is on. We have Twisted Lace for Tampa, who looked like she was going to get lead jammer, but Mighty Duck for Nashville snuck through on the right side, on the outside of the pack. And Mighty Duck has put 4 more points on the board. And I will be backing out of that statement because Mighty Duck actually received a penalty on that. So now we do not have a lead jammer, and it's going to go for the full 2 minutes. So we have 1 minute and 15 seconds of gameplay here. As Twisted Lace is doing her best to work through this white wall and sees the opportunity to go on the outside to pass up the white blockers. And we're getting ready for Mighty Duck, the jammer for Nashville, to come back onto the track, entering behind all the blockers to get through on the initial path, but no, 4 points. And Mighty Duck does a tiptoe turn to get past the blocker and adds another 4 points to the board. Twisted Lace has gotten blocked and stopped by this white wall. As Mighty Duck keeps circling for the points, there's nothing that can be done. There's no lead jammer. We got another 8 seconds in this jam, and these jammers are working to put as many points on the board as they can. And that was that jam 16. As we're going into Jam 17, we have approximately 4 minutes of gameplay left for this second half. The jam is on. We have Goblin for Tampa. And Lunatic for Nashville as the jammers. Lunatic's on a power jam. Goblin had lead and was sent to the penalty box. So it looks like these white blockers are setting up for a strategy move. And they are going to call this jam so that they will start the next jam with a power jam. That's a lot of jam. It seems like we need some PB&J here. One word can have many different meanings, and that is apparent in the Gay Roller Derby with the word jam. So we're having a power jam with Tampa's jammer in the box. And Nashville's Roadrunner is tiptoeing, trying to work her way through, looking back for a little bit of assistance, but those white blockers need to pay attention to the Goblin coming out of the box as she skirts by. And right behind her is Roadrunner. And Goblin getting cycled back and swallowed up by this white wall. And looking over to see where the white jammer is before calling it off. And we have jam on as Felony takes lead jammer, followed by Mean Bean for Tampa. And Felony makes a clean sweep through the pack to pick up 4 points for Nashville. Unfortunately, Nashville lost their pivot to a penalty. They're in the box. But Mean Bean gets cycled back and right back into this white wall as Felony is circling back around, takes the inside, gets a little bit of a block, stumbles, and is met by the Tampa wall. We do have lead jammer status for Felony. As Mean Bean is working her way around the track to pick up 4 additional points. Mean Bean finally made it through the pack as Felony circles around. And the jam is called. That is the unofficial score. Tampa Bay Junior Derby at 208 and Nashville Junior Derby at 281. This is a 73-point game. Congratulations to both of these teams. We have Tampa Bay coming in at 4th place for the female division, and Nashville is taking 3rd. Thank you for joining us for Game 8. As we're waiting for the official score, there is the swoop. We have the final score, and this makes it permanent. Nashville is our 3rd place winner, our bronze level winners. But all of these skaters and all of these teams are winners for reaching and being here and participating in the 2024 JRDA championships here in Chicago, Illinois. We will be back here in approximately 15 to 20 minutes to see Game 9 of the Open Division. As these skaters are taking their final lap, some of these skaters, they're aging out, and this was their final game for gameplay as they are seniors. And looking at the scoreboard, we have where, again, Nashville consistently put up points on the scoreboard, but Tampa Bay kind of took that lesson there at the second half and was doing that consistently for themselves as well. So thank you for joining us. We will be back here in approximately 20 minutes for Game 9.